I'm looking at this. I'm doing all this work. And Puff is my only principal. I'm only really responsible for Puff. Where were the other security people and what were they doing? And I'm going to get to that. So now we get downstairs, we get in the car. So we ready to go. I'm thinking that we ready to go. The cars are right here. Everybody loads up and stuff like that. But Puff don't get in the car. Puff is saying that, oh, we got to wait for Paul and them. Let me just tell y'all something. We got to wait for Paul and them. So I'm like, this is crazy. We never wait for nobody. We never wait for nobody at no party. If a car ain't ready, catch up with us. Catch up to us. Play catch up. And that's what usually happens. If your car ain't ready, we catch you when you catch us when you can. Spoil, get on out of here, Jinx. Getting people writing letters to you and everything like that. Yeah. So now we usually just go on about our business and call them on the phone. We all have cell phones, so call them on the phone. So Puff running around getting girls, talking about still doing the same stuff that he was doing. Tell them I was supposed to remember them and everything like that. So I tell you about the Muslim coming up. First, the guy in the blue and the white shirt. I asked Paul, did he see him? Paul said, yeah, I saw him. So then we get the Muslim dude. He come up in there. Asked Paul. Mud Jones, I'll answer that later because that was something that came from Biggs and them camp. You know what I'm saying? Mud Jones asked why I think Snoop was interested in where we were. And come to find out he wasn't even in California at the time, I think, allegedly. So now we sit up there, Puff running back and forth and everything like that. So now I'm out there and Paul, Kenny's in the car behind the wheel. The other cop is getting their car out. So it's just me and Paul. Two securities doing the work of what 10 should be at this given time. It's already some shots. Somebody already took some shots on the other side of the museum. We know there was no police present, no helicopters or nothing like that. And we got me and Paul out there. You know, Paul said he's waiting for the LAPD guy, the Inglewood cop, to get the car out. So when we go up, we pull out to the driveway. When you pull out to the driveway of the Peterson Museum, you're facing like I'm just facing like I'm facing you. And there's cars lined up right there. What Lucy's is talking about, and I said this 1,000 times, this car had to be parked in that same position because it's parked closer to the curb. You understand? When Lucy's comes up to the light, you understand? Lucy's come up to the light, and we had already took off. That's when the car pulls up out the parking spot, hit Biggs up, and turned the corner. Tone saw everything prior to the guy even took his first shots. But let's get back to the point when we're doing the security. So we all lined up and everything like that. And now we pull out and we line up the same way the cars are parked. So now I go back to Paul. I say, y'all ready? Everybody good? Paul said, yeah, everybody good. I say, everybody in there, let's go, man. Follow us. Paul said, okay. So now Biggs and them partner, friends them in the white Land Cruiser are across the street from us. They are across the street from us. So when we runs the light, Biggs and them friend tries to do a U-turn to get behind Big and them. But I don't know what Paul mind at or the other security guys at. They don't even know they with us. I don't know where they was at. They came from the house with us. Paul jumps out the car and tries to stop him from getting behind Big. When he does that, that's when the guy rolls up. You know, he in the parking spot on the curb because he's in that parking spot. When Biggs and them stop at the light, he rolls up from the parking spot. He's in the first car at the light. He rolls up, pow, 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 then makes the turn. During the time before he took the shots, Tone said, yo, somebody's pointing a gun at Big. Prior to that, me and Puff had got in an argument because I wanted to ride on the side of the car for the next 3 blocks until we get clear. Make sure nobody's following us. Make sure that, you know, I'm 6'7", I'm in the back of a car. You understand? How can I, unless I'm shooting from the window or shooting on the side or something like that, you know, I can't maneuver. But if I'm riding on top of the car, I can run off, jump off. And, you know, listen here, back then, you looking at a Big Jean 235, 245 from a Big Jean 220 now. I mean, 320 now. So you looking at somebody with 235 then and to 220 now, 320 now. I'm mobile. I can move. I'm still playing basketball and everything like that. Still playing in the tournaments, the Kingdom, the Ruckers. I'm still doing all that. The Police Olympics. I'm doing all that. I'm still agile. So now, when Tone said that, I go to open the door. When I go to open the door, Kenny hear the shots. He hit the gas, going in the opposite direction instead of putting it in reverse. So I'm cussing Kenny out, telling him to turn around so we can go back. When we get back, we go back in front of Big's car like this. Big is the only one in the car. Security. Paul was outside the car. The LAPD was in the car behind Big's car. Excuse me. Why didn't he go after the car? When the guy took the shots, pow, 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 jet around Big's car. You understand what I'm saying? Jet around Big's car and go after the dude. Crash him, do something. He ain't budged. He may have jumped out his car and ran with them. Because Paul, D-Rock, and C's ain't tell y'all this. He said on the news that we ducked down. No, y'all ducked and y'all ran out the car. Because we was already at the car and wasn't nobody in the car but Big. And that's when D-Rock came back and said, oh, they got my man. Tone say, Gene, come on. Me and Tone jumps in the car that Kenny was driving at first. And that's when we took after the guy. And Tone was driving like a maniac. And we could see the guy lights because the streets was empty. We could see the guy's lights. You understand? And Tone trying to fly every time Tone like it goes down. Then the guy made a turn or something like that. When we got up there, it was nothing. We couldn't see nothing else. So Tone, let's get back. We get back. Now, one security personnel say, yo, the police is on the other side. They knew they had just put it out. Now, one security personnel said, we're going to stay here till the ambulance come. Now, one security personnel went and got the police on the other side. Because when we got back, you know what I'm saying, I asked, y'all call 911? They said, yeah. But then I take and I walk down to the Peterson Museum where we came out of. That's when I seen your man. I said it 1,000 times, get tired of it. DJ Quick. But I didn't even think myself to run across the thing to go get the police or the fire department or the ambulance people that was on the other side. I didn't even think it. So when I'm down there, seeing if anybody's saying something, Paul runs and say, yo, we finna take Big to the hospital. Then that's when I come back up. But security didn't give Big a chance. We didn't have enough security, and security wasn't thinking. If you wondering why, or did I tell Paul and them to run the light? Anybody, and you could tell these people that's crazy and got no sense, that we all know this. When you're in a convoy, if one person run the light, the second person run the light, the third person run the light, the fourth person run the light. If one get a ticket, we all going to get a ticket. We all supposed to do the same thing. So did I tell G Money to run the light? No, I didn't. Did I tell Paul them to run the light? No, I didn't. But if they see we run the light, they supposed to follow the leader. Whoever leads, whatever he do, he make a right, you make a right. He make a left, you make a left. He do a fucking donut in the middle of the street, you better do a donut in the middle of the street.